Man, you know it's bad when even Polygon is sick of the MJ stealth missions. The irony being, one of the main reasons why Insomniac doubled down and put them in again, despite fan backlash, is because outlets like Polygon would have complained about Insomniac listening to the fans and sidelining a female character. They would have done a whole TED talk about it.
With some exceptions, these are the main options. And they're, once again, not very inspiring. We have weakness, we have horror, we have sexuality. And that's it. Those are the options for being a female character.
Gives us the right to say what we want.
Shut
when
the
you think about
fuck
it.
up!
This is the weird, confused, mashed up state that game developing is in. They're trying to serve God and Mammon both. Or rather, they're trying to serve SJWs and journos while not appearing to serve fans in any way. Because hating the paying customer is the only way to be creative.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino.
Did you know? Despite being the fans' most hated sequences from the first iteration, the Mary Jane stealth portions return and have a 40-year-old Mary Jaw making short work of rooms full of enemies that might give a superhero trouble.
I can't get over how insane the new MJ stealth sections are. You know, you have this little frail old lady in this grandma sweater running around beating up these huge dudes and knocking them out with a taser. And she's running around taking out entire rooms of them. You know, at this point, if MJ can do all this stuff, just this regular girl, what's the point of superheroes? You know, like, what's the point of this being a Spider-Man game if this old hag of a reporter can take out villains faster and more efficiently than he can? You know, there's this thoughtlessness that's been, you know, the SJWs have introduced into like superhero comics and action and video games and stuff, where the way they tell stories, they want the so-called marginalized people in these stories to have their truth. So you have side characters who are women or black or, you know, LGBT, whatever, and they're either the love interest or the wacky friend or things like that, but they can't just be that anymore. In today's media, they have to have their own truth, right? They have to be just as important or even more important than the person you paid money to see. So, you know, no one would buy an MJ game. If it was just about MJ, no one would buy the damn game. But Insomniac is forcing players to play as her in missions that they've already told Insomniac. You know, fans said, we hate the MJ missions. And the thing is, when, like a month or so ago, there were stories coming out that the game was leaked. Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo was leaked. And that it was only like 30 hours to platinum the game. And I was thinking, oh great, that must mean they've cut out the MJ sections. I was even going to comment that it's because they cut out the MJ sections. And I was like, wow, Insomniac listened to the fans and cut the sections out. It made perfect sense to me. But of course they didn't. They didn't. You know, it's just like that Screen Rant article was saying. Well, if you cut out the stealth missions for MJ, it's going to sideline her character. So what? Again, nobody cares about MJ. MJ is not the main character in Spider-Man. She's a support character. She's a love interest. So when I say nobody cares, I mean we care about her because Spider-Man cares about her. In the comics, she's smart and funny, hot and all this stuff, right? And to be honest, I would actually play a Spider-Man DLC where MJ was in like this Telltale type game where she's not a reporter, you know, this annoying, hateful, fake Lois Lane, who's essentially a trans woman, who's supposedly MJ. But if it was actually hot, bombshell, model / actress MJ, had her little side adventure where she's on a film set or in a play or something in a Nancy Drew style mystery where, you know, she's solving some light little, you know, I actually would play something like that because it's the kind of person I am. But I don't want to play as MJ, who's essentially a trans woman now in the game, and Haley, the black deaf girlfriend of Miles. I don't play these characters in a Spider-Man game. That's not why I play Spider-Man. And this thing where the reason why MJ is able to take out, you know, she's running around beating the hell out of men 5 times her size, and this excuse where she took Silver Sable training is absurd. It's more absurd even than the old gimmick where it was like, the girl could shoot, or she knows a little hand-to-hand combat. And the guy's like, wait, where'd you learn to fight? You're pretty tough. And then the girl goes, I grew up with 5 older brothers. They used to beat my ass. And so that's how I learned how to fight.
Why am I playing as characters that are not superheroes? Why am I playing as Mary Jane? Mind you, Mary Jane is the most broken character in this game. She one-shots or two-shots everything. She kills everything with such ease that I'm convinced there's no need for superheroes anymore. Just give everyone in the city the same taser that she does to one-shot or two-shot all the enemies. And mind you, by the way, I also did play this game on the hardest difficulty. The later bosses, which were Symbite people, she would 3-shot them. So she literally, bro, she took down a mini-boss and melted its freaking health with her little taser gun thing. It's unbelievable. I'm convinced there is no need for superheroes anymore. Mary Jane should be the superhero.
The thing is, I think this was Insomniac's way of trying to make the stealth sections more exciting. Like, the only reason people hated the OG stealth missions was because of the insta-fail. But no one wanted to play as Mary Jane Watson in a Spider-Man game. They just didn't. Especially since they made her a Karen in the game. She was so hateful and annoying. Like I said before, whenever she would call, I literally would lose my goddamn mind. Because it's like, no, I'm having fun playing as Spider-Man and following a story. I don't want to play these stupid-ass MJ missions, and I hate MJ. I never played the first game as Peter, and got to a point where I was like, I wonder what MJ or Miles is doing right now. I hope it's almost time for another stealth mission, because, this whole thing about you gotta break up the gameplay. Journos and certain fanboys are always trotting out this excuse for bad game decisions, where it's like, if we break up the gameplay, it's more interesting, exciting that way. But the thing is, the core gameplay is great in the first Spider-Man. It doesn't need to be broken up like we're in high school or something, where it's like, okay, we'll give you a little bit of math here, a little bit of English there, a little bit of history, whatever. So, now MJ is John Wick, ruining the point of Spider-Man and superheroes. If any old shriveled hag can beat up on trained professionals, again, there's no point for Spider-Man to be in the game. And Insomniac didn't want to remove the MJ missions because they didn't want to be accused of sexism and silencing MJ's truth. And because they're on this, they're trying to be like Naughty Dog and even Santa Monica, where they're trying to be more socially progressive. And so they have a disabled character in it. And then they make you play as a deaf girl, where they apparently mute the sound so you can live through her. Like, nobody cares about that. Stop trying to make people better and change people through these stupid ass games. Just entertain people and leave it at that. They made MJ a girl boss simply because I think they were being petty. I think, like I said, they think that the stealth missions were hated because they were boring and insta-fail. So they're like, okay, fine. We're going to make her go around and kick ass, and let's see you complain about that. Let's see you have a problem with that. It's like, you want excitement? I'll give you excitement. And again, that's something about Sony and their major studios now. There's this level of arrogance and pettiness where they treat their most vocal fans as entitled crybabies. Like, they ignore the actual crybabies in the media and on social media who are complaining about the dumbest things, like, where are her organs or where are her clothes, and this isn't the love interest is not inspiring me as a regular woman. I can't relate to this fictional situation and this fictional woman because I don't look like her or whatever. They'll listen to them. But if a fan says, hey, these MJ stealth sections bring the game down. I don't want to play as MJ. I don't want to play as Miles Morales. I want to play as Peter Parker Spider-Man swinging around the city having fun. That's all I care about. I don't need all this other shit. But they put it in there anyway, because it's like, we know what's best. We don't care what you think. You're going to buy this game anyway, so we'll do what we want, right? And I feel like, that's the thing. People will just put up with anything they do, because the journals praise them. They get Game of the Year awards and 9s and 10s, and everybody calls them progressive and socially important and blah, 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 blah. But now it's gotten to a point where even Kotaku or Polygon, Screen Rant, websites that used to demand this sort of thing are sick and tired of MJ and the stealth missions. And so, to me, the way I see things now, despite the financial success right now with Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo, I think it's hurt the brand. And Insomniac, which was the last holdout for Sony's dev studios, has hurt their reputation as much as Naughty Dog and Santa Monica have with their most recent games.